Hi, this is Matt from Reloop. I'm here at Bop DJ and we're going to take a look at the brand new Reloop Flux Serato DJ Pro DVS interface. Let's get into it. The Reloop Flux is a 3-channel Serato interface. Now what that means is commonly when you connect your mixer to your Serato laptop, it's often found within the mixer itself. What we've got here is the RMX60, which doesn't have an interface built in. This is purely an audio mixer only. So this is where the Flux comes in. What the Flux gives you is the USB capability that's normally found in a DJ mixer. How do we connect it? The Flux has 3 inputs and 3 outputs. For today's example, we're only going to be using 2 because we've only got 2 turntables. First thing to do is connect your turntables to the Flux. We take our RCA from the turntable, plug it into input 1. Now, second deck, we plug into deck 2. If you have grounding pins, you can connect that. However, the turntables we're using today are internally grounded. They're the RP7000s from Reloop. These have an internal ground, so you don't need the external grounding pin on this model. Over here we have our source select dip switches. This is where you choose between a phono or a line input. So because we're running turntables, which are a phono output, we have them all set to phono. That way the phono stage is activated in the Flux. Around the other side, we have our outputs. Now this is what is connected to the mixer. So our output from deck 1, which is our turntable, we connect our spare RCA from deck 1, and then we connect that into channel 1 of the mixer. Now it's important to go into the line input of the mixer because we're coming out of the turntable as a phono input. It's going through the Flux, which is boosting that phono signal to a line level. So very important when you're connecting the Flux to the mixer that you go into the line input of your mixer. So we did deck 1. We do the same for deck 2. And we connect that to the line input of our mixer channel. Lastly, we need to power the Flux. Now this unit is bus powered by the USB-C output here. So in the PC section, we simply connect our USB-C cable, which I have running to a MacBook Pro. And once we're connected, you can see Serato opens up into DJ mode. So now we have both turntables connected, we have both outputs connected to the mixer, and we can see that the hub is both powered, we have power delivery working, and there is a USB connection, which you can tell from these 3 LEDs up here. This section around here tells you what decks are connected and gives you a handy indicator of when signal is being received and sent out. So in our Serato, if we load in a track on each deck, we press play on the records. We can now see that the tracks are playing. We can see on deck 1, our inputs are both lit, so we have a nice clean signal coming in. We have output going to the mixer, and the same for deck 2. We have left and right channels lit up, so we have good input from the turntable, and we have output from the Flux to our mixer. The 2 buttons on the top of the unit activate the through input on Serato. So where we have our DVS vinyl playing, currently on relative mode, if we hit through, that bypasses the Serato interface and sends your turntable signal directly through the Flux to the mixer, allowing you to play real vinyl without having to change the channel input on the mixer or change any settings in the software. So on the side of the unit that houses the outputs and the power, you can see we have this USB hub here. These are 2 USB Type A ports. What these are used for is connecting any peripherals that you might use in Serato. So Serato official accessories, for example, if you have Reloop RP8000s, which have a Serato control built into them, that's connected via USB. You can connect your decks here, and then through the power delivery, we'll connect it to your laptop. This also works for media players connected via HID mode, or if you have a pad controller such as the Reloop Neon, or in a pinch you can charge your phone. So with the Flux set up, we have our turntables connected to the inputs, we have the outputs connected to our mixer channel, and we can tell that everything is working because we have LED feedback on the top panel. The last thing we need to do is set up Serato DJ and calibrate our control vinyl for using DVS. So this is done in the settings menu on Serato. We open up our DJ preferences and you can see we have calibration deck 1, calibration deck 2 and calibration deck 3, which we're not using currently, but the Flux can support 3-deck playback. So we're going to focus on calibration deck 1. What we need to do first of all is set the noise sensitivity. Because we have a physical stylus on a record, this is susceptible to vibrations and pickups, which in a loud club booth can get very loud and rumbly. So Serato has an ability to remove the background noise. Simplest way to do this is we have a track playing on our other deck. I have this set up on internal mode. We play that out of the loudspeakers in the club, and then in our settings, hold down the estimate button until it's about stopped. What that does is picks up all the background noise and filters it out so that this pickup from the stylus is getting a very clean signal which is being sent to the software. Second of all, press play, put the needle on the record, and you can see we get this green circle. This is telling you that the cartridge is fine. We have the left and the right channels outputting correctly, and we have a loud enough output for the interface to read the signal from the control vinyl and therefore tell Serato what to do. These settings here, if you find that the circle is anything other than perfectly round, we have a little bit of settings where we can adjust the shape of the circle, and what we're aiming for is perfectly round. So now we know that the stylus is working perfectly, we have our noise cancellation set perfectly, so playback is going to be as perfect as we can be. Lastly, when we're using the Serato control vinyl, as we've been setting it up, the track's been playing. Unless you have any hot cues set, if you put the stylus on the very tip of the control vinyl, it will go right back to the start of the track, allowing you to easily cue up and drop that first beat. Okay, so that was a look at the Reloop Flux Serato DVS interface. This is available now from Bop DJ. They've got stores in Leeds, Bristol, Manchester, or online. Hit them up if you want to book a demo or have any questions. Thanks for watching.